Can you hear me, Madison? Can you hear me, Madison? Oh my gosh, there's Karen Prowl. Look at that. You're muted, Karen.
I know. What are you doing, Mr. Smith?
Well, I'm just getting ready for this fantastic team meeting right here.
Nice. What a pretty office.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My office today, we have team meeting, is about as cold as the convention center today.
Gotcha. Madison, have I got the slides? Madison, can you come help me with one thing real quick? Can you help me with one thing real quick? I don't have the slides.
I shared them to your email.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody ready? I've got 11:02. We had an appointment 11:02. Is everybody ready to get started? Wow. Okay. I could hear that. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. So we're super excited to be here and fired up for our team meeting. We've got everybody on here. We've got our folks in Southern Indiana. We've got Lexington. We've got Cincinnati, and we've got Louisville. So it's a big day, and we do appreciate everybody coming out. So we're going to go ahead and dive in and get things started. So I'm going to introduce our guest that is actually going to be in town, going to be everywhere. She's making all the rounds, right? Making all the rounds. And Karen Prowl's with us today. She's going to be teaching business planning clinic. Guys, it's an integral part of the year. We're preparing for next year, right? It's coming. You know, the MREA, everyone tells us, you know, when October rolls around, you've got to already have your plan built for the next year. You cannot work without a plan, right? You cannot work without a plan. Otherwise, you're going to look up, it's the end of the first quarter, and you're not sure where you are. So Karen's here to talk to us a little bit about what she's going to be talking about in all four offices. And I'm going to turn it over to you. And Karen, take it away. Oh, also, dear friend of mine and Tara's, and she's texting me on the side to make sure I say that. But she's awesome. And Karen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Bo. Hey, everybody. How are you today? Thumbs up, hands up, energy. I know that I'm talking to a room, So this is not always easy, but my name is Karen Prawl. I've been with Keller Williams for 24 years, and I know Bo. I'm an instructor with Keller Williams University. And and there was a question that someone asked me on Facebook years ago. And the question was, what did you wish you learned in high school? And I had to think about it for a long time. And my answer to me, humbly, was I wish I knew that I was smart because my whole life I had been telling stories to myself that I wasn't smart. I was bad at math, never mind the fact that my parents had a literal backwards clock in my kitchen growing up. So they thought I had some challenges there. Um, but I never thought I was smart. And it wasn't until I took the business planning clinic. And that's why I'm so passionate and teach it all over the country and the world, is because it taught me that the real estate business or any business I'm in that has customers is just a game. And it finally, when it clicked for me that I am smart. I maybe didn't get it the first year, maybe didn't get it the second year, but I was at a different place in my life for each of those years. And so now I'm fortunate to come spend days with you all in Kentucky, which I would only do for Bo and Tara, but I am a Buckeye. So for you Ohio people, although Indiana, you guys killed it last year. Great job. That I can't wait to come teach us. So I'm gonna ask for your participation, but it's participation with yourself, right? I'm not going to ask you to share if you don't choose to, but I want you to work with me. Can we all agree that we're going to participate and engage for this short exercise? Because it's really important that we help you get the life you want by the business you build. Does that sound good? Thumbs up? Okay. So pretend we're sitting here a year from today and you're sitting with Tara or Bo or your market center leadership team or in front of me or Gary Keller, and you look at me and you say, Karen, I freaking nailed it this year. One, how does that feel? We're sitting here in end of August 2027 or in the fall, right? I nailed it. What does that mean to you? Is that a number? Is that a unit? What is that to you? What I'm going to ask is that you write down a number bigger than you could have expected to earn, but you know that you have the potential and capability to do it. So just write down a number of what you'd like to earn in 2027. On that same page that you write it, scribble it on a notebook, write, I nailed it. Now we're looking at that number and it can be a little bit scary. So we're going to break this down just a little bit. First, I want to ask, what did it do to change your life? What did you earn? How many families did you help? What does your business look like? I want you to dream big. Business Planning Clinic is not just about numbers, it's about dreaming big and getting clarity on what it is that you really want, right? Is it a family vacation? Is it paying for a child's wedding? Is it pay something off? Is spending time investing in yourself to dream? We don't get to dream anymore, right? We've kind of lost that image of what could my life look like if I did this by design? Okay, so we all have our number. What three things in your life would have to happen for you to say, I nailed it? So for me, it could be take my grandkids on a trip, pay for, help a random stranger, buy an investment property. For you to look at yourself or if your family or friends and say, I nailed it because of these three goals that I wanted to achieve happened. And have fun with this. Just write three things down. Could be hire a personal trainer. Is anybody willing to share what their three things are? We can take it off mute. If not, that's okay too. Did I see someone raise their hand on the left in Commonwealth? All right, we good? You have your three things that could really make you proud that you achieved. Does that sound good? Okay. So you have your goal and you have your three things. But what typically happens come January 2nd? Right? We're excited. We have our plan in October. And then what happens? We're not doing the activities we need to do. And that's where business planning stops for an agent. I want to sell 100 homes. What does 100 homes mean? Well, 100 homes could mean at $5,000 commission that I get to do one of the three things. It's never really about the number of homes. It's about creating a business to fund your perfect life. So write down something else or think about something in order to hit these three objectives in your goal. What is it that you finally started doing that you haven't yet done, but you do know that's going to help your business? Is it doing more open houses? Is it lead generating 2 hours a day? Is it holding community events, client participation parties? If you know what your niche is and what works for you, what is it that you need to learn? What's a tool or a skill to implement in your business? The next question around this of your goal is, what do I need to stop doing? For me, it's probably browsing on Amazon or Instagram, right? It's stop procrastinating. What isn't working for you any longer or no longer serves you that you can stop doing? Now you have your three items. Let me know. What was already working that I feel good about doing it consistently? I can commit to doing it consistently. Is it writing 5 note cards 3 days a week? What is one real estate activity to get you more business that you can commit to? But here's what I want. I am real. I've been an agent for a long time. I don't want to say I'm going to make 100 calls a week. I love you, Bo. I love Bold. We're launching soon. But I know that's not what I'm going to do. I'm better at open houses and I'm better at talking to my personal sphere, right? It's not what you think you should be saying. It's about what you individually know you're good at and have a passion around, because that's when authenticity shows up and your enthusiasm, it becomes really, really catchy. So
You
the
know,
question is,
that's a
go
really
ahead.
important point, Karen, because there are so many different ways to get business, right? There are so many different ways to build your business. And I think sometimes we tell ourselves we're going to do those things that sound the most flashy, or maybe the things that someone that has a completely different personality style is going to do. You know what? I'm going to start calling FISBOs and expireds, and I'm going to get a dialer, and I'm going to call for 7 hours a day, and I'm going to drive my business every day, and everything like that. And yet there might be some things that they're more passionate about, like, you mentioned it, like client parties, right? Open houses, things like that. Whatever that niche is, if you commit to it and you're passionate about it, it's going to pull you where you want to be, right? There are
You're
so
right.
many different ways. We just learned, came back from mega camp. Nobody on that stage was saying like the same thing from the person that just walked off the stage, and they're running huge businesses.
No. And we get away from what we're naturally good at. Like, listen, I always tell agents, go around to open houses to see what agents are doing well and see how you shouldn't show up. Have you ever walked into an open house, Bo, and you can tell the agent doesn't want to be there? What does that feel like?
Yeah,
They're
it
like,
is.
oh, hey, how you doing? They're on their phone doing their thing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do the open house, like do it all the way, like do first look open houses. Because I did 6 a weekend when I was getting my business going, because I moved to different cities and sold real estate. And so that's where your authenticity becomes genuine and catchy. So the questions were, what did I finally start doing? What did I have to stop doing? Right? And the last question is, what's already working that I can continue to be fiercely consistent about? Now, based on the three things the future you is doing for next year's business plan, Circle the most important one. It could be something you need to start, it could be something you need to stop, or the third option is that I need to ramp it up and continue my consistency. So, Bo, I had a question. I had an agent call me and she said, my business is really down this year, and I said, okay, well, why do you think that is? And she said, well, and I said, let's talk about your last 2 years. Where did you get your most business from? Her answer was open houses and personal referrals. Okay. I said, how many open houses have you done this year? Because guess what she stopped doing consistently? The one thing that worked. And I really want to get into like self-sabotage, right? And worth of what's holding us back? Because I want to be able to look a year from now and look at my family and friends and say, I freaking nailed it. I did this.
And the interesting thing is when you take that one thing that is, that drives your business, that allows you to be authentic, the first thing we got to do there is we've got to optimize that. You've got to crush that, because here's the other thing. We start thinking scale. Start thinking, oh, it's time to scale. So I'm doing this and this and it's work. So I need to add 6 more things that I'm going to do. So now I'm scaling my business without really truly optimizing what I'm already doing, right? Because if you're doing an open house, all right, are you doing a 7th level open house? What does the promotion look like? Tara used to do open houses, and we used to talk about this. If you do everything right, open house, 7th level, it doesn't even matter if anybody comes to the open house, right? If you do everything on the 7th level open house, it doesn't matter if nobody even crosses the threshold. That's optimizing it, right? Now we think scale. So what I'm doing is I'm having an okay open house. I need to do more okay open houses. No, I need to commit to that because I'm authentic. I'm energized. I love it. You're spot on. You're dead on with that.
Thanks, Bo. That's the first time in all these years you said that. Okay. And let's
I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget saying it. So
I texted you.
Yeah, I worked that in there.
I'm going to give an example, and I'm a very real instructor. Would anyone in your office single, raise your hand if you're single. Anyone here single? Okay, listen. My deal was I moved to Denver, Colorado. I had not sold real estate there. I didn't know anyone there. I signed up for Match.com because I was single. I figured this. It was $39 unlimited lead generation. $39 a month. I could meet as many people as I want to for $39 a month. And so I would go on 5 to 6 appointments a day, 4 days a week. I got so much business from there. Like business can come from anywhere. And I genuinely love meeting new people. So for me, it was like a complete win-win. Now, if you're in a relationship, don't do that. Like, don't do that. But there are so many ways to meet people where they are in creating the business that they want. So you have the most important one. Does everyone have the most important of what do I need to start doing or learn and do? Stop doing and then double down in my consistency. Where does that number one thing show up on your calendar? Right? Where does it show? Where is it a priority? How would I know looking at your calendar that that's a priority? Because Gary Keller says, show me your calendar and I'll show you how much you earn. I am not going to sit and get on the phone for 2 hours like the Red Book. I'm not, but I am going to figure out creative ways to lead generate, whether through social media, open houses, and follow-up systems in the 7th level. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So if we're getting the future of your word and your goal in mind, I want you to take that number, your number you wrote down that said, I nailed it. And I want you to divide it by your average commission. For example, my average commission in my market is $10,000. Okay. I want to earn $300,000. So you're going to take your big number, 300,000, my average commission. That's how many units you need to sell. So I need to sell 30 homes to earn $300,000. My job is to break this down that it's so easy for you to get to $300,000 and 30 homes that this becomes game. I love gamifying business. And that's what we're going to do at the Business Planning Clinic, right? Is gamifying it in a way for you to have a curated plan for you. It's not for anyone else. So you can create your own dream and perfect world. Like I never realized what was possible through selling real estate. But my gosh, I coached an agent. Her name is Taylor Hunt. You guys may have heard of her. I was her first coach, and she was 25 years old. And I said, "You're going to make $1 million this year." And she did, because she doubled down on the things she was authentically passionate about. And that's what we're going to get to. It's not just about the numbers.
You know, I love, and when we say that, and I love that, and the piece that's so cool, I think we may not be tracking everybody that's watching today is when you talk about that business plan and Karen talks about breaking those numbers down, she's going to take you through the conversion rates and everything, literally going to break it down. And correct me if
Per
I'm wrong,
week.
Karen, you're going to break it down to a weekly and a
Yeah.
daily number as far as contacts to have to set a certain number of appointments, right? Because I don't know, I'm going to guess average sale price, but I'm going to think that gal you were speaking of, probably in order to make $300,000 a year, she had to hold somewhere in the neighborhood of about 5 to 6 appointments a week. Would that be about right?
Yeah.
Sale price?
So
What was that number? I
at,
mean, it
at
wasn't 50.
30 homes a year, just divided by 40%, right? So she probably had to have 100 appointments total for the year. Break that down, but divided by 12, that's 10. That's 2 a week. One buyer, one seller. Now I can do this in my head because I teach this for all these years. But how I hear 300,000, I'm in overwhelm. I hear one buyer appointment a week and one seller appointment a week. So much easier,
Yeah,
right? I
absolutely.
can do one buyer appointment a week from doing the open houses or Match.com or whatever it is that I love to do. I can work on that one buyer appointment a week. And how great is it to go home every day knowing I did what I needed to do? It's not 8 hours of work, it's productive, purposeful work.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
And it comes from knowing the numbers, understanding them, and then plugging them into what your passion is. That's spot
It,
on.
it has to be fun, right, Bo? You're an example of fun. You're a fun guy. I think Tara is a little more fun than you, but I
I'm like the
think that
funnest thing going right here.
I'm pretty
Nothing
sure
but fun.
everyone would agree. And it's not to be punitive, is it's to show the way of life by design. So I can't wait to come. It's going to be so fun to spend days there with you all and doing a little tour. I actually worked. I went to Ohio State, so I'm a Buckeye. So you can either like me or hate me for that. But I did open. I lived down in Cincinnati for a while too. So I'm just excited to come. And Kentucky's so beautiful. I want to move there. You already know that, Bo.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I know all these things. Well, we really appreciate it. Appreciate you taking this time. So, team, we've got QR codes that are going out for business planning clinic with Karen. It's going to be an absolute. It's probably one of my favorite things that we do teach, that we do bring people in. I mean, it just is.
It
I am a
is.
numbers person. Well, no, I'm a numbers guy. Everybody knows that, and yet at the same time, too, the correlation between the numbers and the activities and plugging into something that you're passionate about, there's so many roads that are going to where you like to be. You just need that clarity, right? That clarity of what you have to do on the daily. Business plan for the year sounds huge, but we're going to break it down to the daily and truly get an understanding of it. It's a game changer. It really
It's
is.
connecting the dots. And I tell people, listen, if you don't want to go, don't go. But I will tell you, there's a 74% chance you're going to hit your goal when you do go. It's a
Yep.
74% chance when it's written down. And so it becomes, I don't see agents spending too much time investing in themselves and taking that time to work on themselves. We'll do it at our kids' functions, our grandkids' functions, anyone else. But you need to take a day, like a teacher's institute, and invest in yourself. You are worth it, because no company, no business, no empire ever gets created without a plan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's awesome. Karen, thank you so much. We really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having
Thanks for
me.
spending this time. Guys, give her a round, give her a clap, right? There we go.
Well,
Awesome.
they muted me
Well,
in
that's
there. I
yeah.
see them. All right,
Okay.
everybody. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. All right. Awesome. Thanks,
Bye.
Karen. Okay. All right, team. Let me go ahead and flip over to the slides and make sure that we keep this train going. Business planning clinic is it's a big deal. All right. Everyone see the can everyone see the slides? Can I get a thumbs up? Wait a minute. Okay, good. Let me get on the slideshow. All right. Awesome. Okay, so real quick, KW culture. Guys, I'm going to kind of go through these, relatively quickly. Hold on one second. I'm going to go. Okay, so awesome. All right, so we got some QR codes on the screen so depending on where you are, whether it's you're in Southern Indiana, Louisville, they'll be doing it together, Lexington, Cincinnati. Everyone is going to be able to participate. Karen's making the rounds. The dates are down there. The locations are down there, guys. This is absolutely time well spent. I've also found that the more you do it, the more you participate and do this, the better your plan starts to look. So it doesn't matter if you haven't sold your first house. It doesn't matter if you're in the process. We got a lot of folks getting ready to sit for their exam. Be here. 20 years in the business, be there. You'll get some great information there as far as that goes. All right, so next up, I'm going to share a little bit of information with everybody regarding the information on the market that we got from Family Reunion. So, guys, it's important that we understand the market, right? I ask a lot of people what's important about understanding the market from a national level. Well, here's the thing: everybody likes to believe that real estate is so localized, and it is, right? And yet there's a lot of things that we can learn by simply understanding what's happening at the national level with regards to real estate. So buyers think it's 2008, right? Sellers think it's 2001. You guys know why, right? And I still think I'm 25. Guys, the market doesn't care what you think, what anyone thinks, right? The market is the market. We don't control the market, right? We don't control the market. So we've got to understand what it is. Otherwise, folks that you're talking to are probably only going to know what they know from the last time they entered the market, right? So we got to keep those things together. So going to get into the numbers a little bit. It gets a little bit granular, right? So hang in there with me. Guys, these slides will be available to you. There's a lot of great information here that I think can make its way into your buyer consultations, your listing presentation. That national picture is always going to give folks a little bit of clarity that might still be thinking about days gone by or the last time they sold their house. So check this out. If we look at our numbers here, we can see back in 2021, we sold a little over 4 million homes. Okay, this is nationally, annual home sales, right? And then guess what? 23, 24, 25, and 26, flat. We're still sitting right around about a little over 4 million homes. Now, why does that matter? Well, because we track these things and we know what's going to happen. Now, there's different things causing this, and yet at the same time, too, guys, 2027, are we going to start to tick back up again? We'll see. But that 4 million homes a year number, you can see it on the dotted line. We've had some years where we've been way above it. You look back over at 2005, almost doubled it, right? We almost doubled it. And when it gets up really high, it's going to correct. So we're probably due to see things to start to go up a little bit. Okay. Next slide, home sales monthly. Okay. So this is this year. If you look at it a little bit and you compare 25 to 26, you can see May, June, July, 2026, we're outpacing last year. So we're ticking up a little bit. But here's the other thing. There's a bell curve, right? We can see we're also starting to trend down, right? Look where May was. Look where June, July. We're ticking down just a little bit. We'll be anxious to see what's happening in August. And yet at the same time, too, guys, right over that 4 million homes mark, we're going to start ticking back up after we hit that for August. So keep an eye on that. Understand what it was. Know that back in May, beginning of spring market, we started to spike a little bit. Okay. There's the home sales. This one's important. Home prices. Where are prices going? Are prices up? Are they down? Are they trending? So historically, what we've got, we talk about something called the 4% trend line. Okay. It's just an historical line. It's that blue line that's going up on the slope right there. And basically what that is that's appreciation in real estate. Okay. That's appreciation. That 4% trend line, they've been tracking it for a really, really long time. This graph goes back to 1990. So look at it right there in 2006, we were 21% above the trend, right? 2005, almost the same. 2007, almost the same. 2008, We fell off a little bit, but we got back to where we did. So guys, we've been in a little bit of a correction stage from like 2009 all the way up through 2020, right? You can see we've been below it. So what started to happen then? So we started working above the trend. That's the market. That's the market correcting itself. Okay. So we know this, that 4% trend line, we're going to probably follow it at some level. If you look at where we are right now and what we're kind of tracking, we're still above it. And yet it almost feels like, gee, prices are softening a little bit in some areas. Might be. Some areas they might be going up, but be aware that prices are probably going to start to correct themselves just a little bit, right? So understand what's happening there. Here's the other thing. When you're showing someone that 4% trend line, what's the overall message? It's always a good time to buy. We buy real estate, we get in the game, and then we just wait, and the appreciation is going to come. If you go all the way back to 1990 through 2026, you can see right there, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, that's where prices came down a little bit. And then after that, even though we're working below the trend line, from 2011 on, what are prices doing? They're just climbing. So when someone starts talking and asking, gee, is this a good time to buy? Well, hey, hold on a minute. Let me show you a little something here. Talk to your buyers, show them this, right? Show them this. It's always going to be a time to get in the game, okay? Look at our prices, all right? Percentage of listings with price reductions, okay? Again, luxury listings, non-luxury. Non-luxury is in the blue line. Gold is going to be the listings with price reductions on the luxury side of things. Price reductions starting to creep up. We're seeing more and more of them. Now, I'm going to tell you that it's going to always be extremely critical when we're doing our consultation that we're listing those houses with the market. And yet at the same time too, if the number of price reductions is increasing, that means the market is adjusting and we might still be pricing things a little bit on the high side. Maybe we're listening to our buyers. We've kind of come out of that stage where it didn't matter what price you put on it and the house sold. So what does that mean to us from a skill set? Well, from a skill standpoint, it means this. If you don't understand and know how to present a price reduction, that's something you need to start getting together. And maybe it's something we need to have a class on. And yet understanding price reductions, when to get them, when to ask for them. Guys, if your house has been sitting for 2 weeks and you've not had showings, it's price. If you've had showings and you've had no offers, it's price. There's only 3 reasons the house doesn't sell, right? Price, condition, and location. And most of that we can overcome with price, okay? With price. So looking back, what's happening with home prices, right? All right, well, let's take a peek. Home prices annually, okay? Again, wait a minute. That's a repeat, excuse me. Home prices. So existing homes versus new homes. Go all the way out here to Q1 in 2025. If you notice, existing homes and new homes, it's pretty much mirroring each other. If you look at it, they're kind of staying pretty together. Now, you get from Q1 of 2025 to Q1 of 2026, they're almost together, right? They're almost right at the same. So pricing is stabilizing, right? It's stabilizing a little bit. We came out of COVID. New construction, there were some advantages there, right? We also saw a time when new construction pricing was a lot more expensive. Guys, new construction, resales, we're still behind in new construction nationally. So make it a point to understand what's going on with new construction. We are still seeing that existing homes are on a little bit of a tick up. New homes, they're running a little bit flat. Right? They're running a little bit flat. These are things that you can pull into a conversation that you're having with just about anybody. Okay. Just about anybody. Home prices, existing inventory. Okay. Monthly. 2006, lagging a little bit on the inventory side. You got a lot of people that are still on the sidelines. Take a look at what's happening in June and July year over year. It's almost identical. Look at April, May, June, July. Inventory levels, it's about the same. we're still not really seeing that inventory start to loosen up a little bit. Okay. And there's a lot of shadow inventory that's going to be out there as well. So the question we need to ask ourselves, why are people waiting? I mean, think about it. Why are they waiting? Why are people on the sidelines? Could they be worried about the fact that, you know what if my house sells and I don't have somewhere to move? Got to think through the things that are going through our people's minds. We've got to ask them questions. Don't make assumptions, right? Don't make assumptions. So when you're talking to somebody about inventory or they're worried about it, paint the picture. The national trends are out there for a reason. They really help us understand, and they help our clients understand as well. You know, the graphics, the pictures, they tell a story that sometimes for the questions that we just don't really necessarily know how to present to them about what it's going to mean to their particular situation. Mortgage rates. Everybody loves to talk about mortgage rates. What's going on with interest rates? What's going to happen? What's the crystal ball? Well, here's the reality, team. Interest rates, they got down to a point when they dropped below 6%. And what's great about this graphic is it tells an historical picture going all the way back to 1972, where you can talk to folks and show them that where we are today, the rates are still great. It's still a great time to buy. Now, would everybody love to have a 3% rate? Yeah, everybody'd love to have a 3% rate. And yet at the same time too, here's what I'm going to tell you. When you're talking about interest rates, they're holding right around about that 6.5 range. You know, we used to put the 7% trend line on there, and then we've got the 6% line that's on there. Guys, I mean, 6%, that's a low interest rate, right? That's from a historical perspective, that's a really, really low interest rate. It's certainly nothing that should keep anybody from hesitating. We also know this. We also know that interest rates too are cyclical. And you know what? Maybe I had somebody say once, maybe you date the rate, right? You get the rate, you come out of the gate. Next thing you know, an opportunity presents itself. You can refinance your house. Because guys, when the refinance boom hit, a lot of people refinanced their mortgages, got a lower rate, and even shortened the remaining term on their mortgage to basically take advantage of how low the rates were. Do we know if that's coming again? Well, here's the historical trend going all the way back to 1972. You can see interest rates started to fall back in 1981, and it was a sort of a steady decline all the way down to 2021. Now they've ticked up a little bit, but they've also leveled out a little bit over 6%. If you think about it, interest rate on your mortgage is tax deductible. So if you think about if I'm in a 33% tax bracket and I've got a 3%, or I'm in a 30% tax bracket, I got a 6% rate, really, I'm only paying about 4% because I'm getting a third of that back on my taxes. Interest rates can sometimes drive sales a little bit. They'll pull some people off the sidelines, but let's not forget, people buy homes for a lot different reasons than interest rates and pricing. That's just not the primary drivers. Family gets bigger, family gets smaller, people get married, right? People get divorced, people live, people pass away, their homes become estates, they get a new job, they have to relocate. It's the life events, team. And the only way you're going to really lock in on those is to ask great questions. If all we're going to talk about is interest rate, that's about a 2-minute conversation. What are rates? About 6.5. Okay. And then what? We got to get to their motivation, right? We've got to talk them past that. We got to understand that we can't promise what's going to happen. We don't know. But from a historical perspective, I think it's a powerful slide, right? Sides per agent. Okay. So there's a line that's going across right there. That's the 9.5 sides per agent per side. Again, there's a story that's being told here. Sides per agent. We're on a little bit of climb since 2023, excuse me. So right now we're projecting in 2026, 5.7 sides per agent. That's an average. That's based on every single agent that's in the business. Okay. The brand new folks, the people that have tenure, everything that's happening there. So if you're wondering what's happening out there on the average agent, it's about 5.7 sides. If you're above that line, you're outpacing what's happening with the average agent. If you're below that line, you're underpacing. And that's a coaching conversation. That's a consulting conversation. That's an opportunity to pull one of our PC coaches aside and say, you know what? I think there's more. I've got more in me. I'd really like to sit down and look at my business plan. I'd like to look at my tools. I'd like to look at what's working, what's not working. I'd like to look at what I'm passionate about. And remember, the sides per agent, that number actually has nothing to do with what you're able to accomplish. Because there are agents out there right now with the average agent sides per agent's 5.7, and we've got agents relatively new in tenure that have sold 6 homes in their first 4 or 5 months in the business. There's nothing holding you back. This is simply the data. And when the sides per agent goes up, there are still going to be agents that are only going to sell 2 or 3 homes a year. Back when it was 13.8, there were agents that were still only selling 1 or 2 houses a year. And today in this market, they're probably selling 1 or 2 houses a year. We have to make a decision, right? We have to make a decision that we might need to look at some things within our own business and what we're committed to that are going to work for us at a little bit higher level. Talk to your team leader, talk to your PC coach, because we've got some agents that are absolutely crushing it out there. And when you see one of them teaching a class, get in that class, right? Be a part of that, right? Volume per agent, right? So it's in millions, right? Interestingly enough, volume is up. Let's think about that a little bit. Sides per agent, right? Up a little bit. It's at about 5.7. Historically, it's down. And yet, if you look at our volume per agent going all the way back to 2000, it's our second. We're projecting our second best year for volume per agent. Now, let me tell you what makes me nervous about this. You could theoretically be an agent out there performing in the market, having a great year, selling fewer homes simply because the volume is up. Is there anything wrong with that? No. My GCI is as big as it's been. My volume is as big as it's been. I'm making as much money or more money than I've ever made. Awesome. My challenge with that is if we're not growing our units team, we're going to be susceptible to a fall in pricing. Prices are going to soften. It's going to happen. Okay. If prices begin to soften and my units stay the same, am I going to make more money or less money? You're going to make less money because you sell the same houses at a lower price. Right now, we can sell the same houses at a higher price. And the feeling is, and the check is, man, you know what? Things are good. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have to be cognizant. And this is where the numbers tell us a little bit of a story. We don't control average sale price in our market. That's why we set our goals based on units, because in order to hit my goal this year, if prices soften, I might need to sell more homes. In order to make the same money I made last year, if prices soften, I might need to sell more homes. Right? So let's just keep that piece in mind because they're there. Now, NAR settlement, right? Buyer's rep agreements. We all kind of remember what that was like, right? And wondering, and gee, are they going to work with me? And some agents were like, oh gosh, I'm not going to work for free. I'm not even going to go there. But let's take a look at this. Method of home purchase. The big blue section in the middle. That's the people that are utilizing an agent or a broker. It's 88%. I want you to look in 2025, 88% of people sought the resources of a real estate agent or broker. And if you look and you keep going back, it's holding at 88, 89, 87, 89, and you can go all the way back to 2011. You go back to 2010 where it dropped to 83%. You are still going away the choice, right, of real estate, the choice of consumers when it comes to buying a home. So nobody's kicked you to the curb. Nobody's said, I'm not playing ball. I don't want to do buyer's rep. I'm going in on my own. I'm going to be an unrepresented. It's not happening, right? You're closing on 90%. 90%. And what's interesting is There's a portion of that 5% right there that's represented by a builder's agent. So it's actually a little bit higher than 88. Now, it's either they work directly with the builder or a builder's agent. And yet at the same time, too, the 88 and the 5, you're 93. So whatever limiting beliefs you have, whatever you've been telling yourself, whatever that, that voice is that's in your ear that's giving you some hesitation to look these people in the eye and tell them, hey, in order to get me as your representative, let me tell you a little bit about what I do and how I work with my clients. And you're gonna bring the buyer's rep. They're coming to you first, guys, right there. It's 88, almost 90%. So the state of the industry slides, Ruben was up there with Gary. Here's a QR code. You want to geek out on these numbers, you want to get them, hit that QR code. When people ask you about real estate, I always like to lead with a national snapshot. Here's why. It shows that you're someone that's truly committed to this industry and you're watching everything. Then I'm going to bring the conversation down to the local market, because I can compare the local market to what's happening nationally. Here's why. When people say, oh my gosh, I saw something on Facebook or social media or something else along the lines like that, here's what you got to remember. The stuff they're seeing, they're talking about what's going on in Florida, right? Kansas City, California. They're talking about some faraway land where things are imploding. They're not talking about where we are in maybe, Cincinnati, Ohio, Southern Indiana. They're not talking about our market. Our three markets right there are uniquely different. So understand the big picture, be able to speak to it, and then turn around and take them into the local market, right? Okay. And if you're wondering why I looked up, I got Madison looking through the window, right? Pointing at me, keep me going. All right. So real quick, I'm going to read Gary's letter to you. I know this is something we've been doing. There's a lot of great nuggets in here. So I'm lying here, and for some reason the thought of failing has shown up in my head. It's almost like it was lurking there all along and then suddenly decided to jump out and make an appearance. It's now on my mind, so I just hang out with it for a bit. My first thought is, why in the deuce did this show up all the way? Then I realize, feeling rather dumb, not that it's always there. Duh. The potential for failure is always present in my life, and so it's naive of me to not understand that because of that, the fear of failing is always present too. The potential for failure always brings the fear of failure along for the ride. Team, they're two passengers in the same car. They never travel alone. Weird. The thought is both is worrisome and strangely comforting. Worrisome because I don't love the subject. Comforting because I realize that it's true for everyone, not just me. I'm not alone. We all ride through life with the potential for failure and the concern for it happening. Okay, so it's always there. I get it. Should it bother me? Good question, because apparently at this moment it is. Maybe a better way to ask the question is, why is it bothering me? I jump right on that one because it's easy. It bothers me because I don't want to fail at all the things that matter to me. If that's true, which it is, then maybe a fear of failing isn't bad, but it's good. That's a thought that sticks. Maybe the feel of failure is simply life's way of saying, pay attention, this matters. Now that makes sense to me. So I don't care about failing at something. Is it bad? Can't be. Not if it doesn't matter. Got it. Failing at things isn't really the issue. Succeeding at the things that matter is. The bigger the dream, the bigger the possibility of failure. That's not a flaw in the dream. That's the price of having one. Now I'm immediately back on solid ground. Fear of failure simply means I'm standing in front of something that matters deeply to me, meaning that this is something I want to succeed at. Fear tells me I care. Caring tells me to act. I understand how to succeed, set my mind, take action, never give up. All of a sudden, fear of failure feels less like a stop sign and more like a dashboard warning light. It isn't telling me to stop. It's telling me to pay attention. And with that, I realize fear of failure is my friend. Okay, that's weird when I say it to myself, but it also not. I don't need fear. I don't need to fear my fear. I need to understand it. When it rises up inside of me, I'll simply say hello. I'll thank it for reminding me that something important is at stake, and then get back to the work of succeeding. Okay, that's a lot, but it not only makes sense, it puts me at ease. So I smile, turn over, and go back to sleep. Guys, if you haven't read that, read it again. Take a look at it, right? The fear is always there. Family Reunion 2027. You want a ticket? It's the cheapest ticket right now. Brene Brown is our keynote speaker. Guys, that's crazy. I know we've got some huge Brene Brown fans, and it's going to be a fantastic time. We're going to break now. Hey, thank you guys for the opportunity. I always appreciate to share my thoughts and any information that I have. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. We're going to go back to our respective meetings now. Everybody go back to your internal team. We've got some sponsors that need to speak. And you know what, guys, we'll see you soon. Take care, be safe, and think lucky. Go get them. That you know that would love an introduction into our industry and what it takes to sit in the seats that you guys are sitting in. Keep that in mind. Tara and Bart crush it. And
What, you're done?
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't forget about your back to school spot giveaway, August 27th, 3 to 7. Taking the reverse Volt 100 is a fantastic way to get your phone to ring, right? Reach out to people, promote it. We had something in our internal page where John's dropping mail in the neighborhood, in one of the farm areas that he has. Guys, that's textbook. That's how you run the play, right? So great job there. You don't understand how that works, find me after the meeting, I'll explain it to you. Okay, UK versus Alabama. It's very seldom that we go to Commonwealth Stadium and you have a football game that has national championship implications. That's it. Seriously, I'll be there. I'll always be. Why are y'all laughing about that? Are you trying to tell me that if Kentucky beats Alabama, that doesn't hurt Alabama's chances?
Oh.
What? Come on, there you go.
I'll be right there.
All right, anyways, all right, so hey, Tom, seriously, Tom, it'll be a fun time. You don't want to go into the game, that's okay, right? All right, time management 411, that's today,
It's
Right.
right after this.
right after this.
Hold on.
She does, Jennifer does an incredible job, putting this together. I love the fact that they call it time management, and I'm gonna tell you, when you're in there, she's gonna talk about a lot of things, you're gonna realize that really it's a lot of self-management. Right? If we manage ourselves, the time management piece happens automatic. Okay? Happens automatic. But Jennifer does a fantastic, I don't know how many people talk to me about, oh, we need class on time management. I need to learn how to take control of my time. Right? Just instead of running. Anybody feel like you just run this stuff? Yeah, okay.
All right. Oh, that's good.
Wow. All right, look at Tara. That's the look I get from Tara a lot right now. What did you say? Anyways, hey, so upcoming continuing education, she teaches at the Bluegrass realtors, if you're going to one of her classes on these two in particular, if you go, get there early. Because she will fill the room.
Yeah.
So be standing in the back of the room if you've ever been in one of her classes. Does a fantastic job. All right. All right, one of our, hey, let me lay this, I'm joking, come on, Meredith. So here's let me tell you what's so cool. You all talk about building a business and we want to build a business and build a business that lasts and all the different things like that. I can remember when Wildcat Moving was just Wildcat Moving.
Right.
And there was none of this, right? It was like, and literally, I met RJ. I was a team leader. It's 2010.
He's our owner.
Yeah, I'm sorry, he's the owner, principal of the company. 2010. I sit down with him at the Bluegrass office. I'm a team leader, and he's just coming in and he's talking about this movie company that he started. And he literally, in that conversation, tells me what he's going to do. And I'm like, good for you, right? And then he tells me he's going through this entire process with moving companies and how these regulations work and everything else like that. But it's been an absolute pleasure watching him and you and the team and all these, because there's no one succeeds alone. But it's been super cool to watch all that.
Thank you for saying that, and you're one of the reasons that he established the group. So all of these businesses together are the Wildcat Group. Wildcat Moving is the umbrella company for them all. But we had realtors who are constantly asking our movers, well, who do you recommend for carpet cleaning, pressure washing? Who should we call for packing? What do we do with our items for storage? What do we do with our dogs on the open house day?
They got a dog retreat. You don't know that?
We were constantly referring out to these other businesses, which is not always great because we can't completely be liable for another company. And so we decided to build within, and you were a huge part of that. We've been working with Keller Williams for over a decade now, and you've helped us grow. We definitely, you guys drive our business.
Well, you know,
Thank you.
they're curating that entire experience there that's tied to real estate and people and everything else like that. Just an outstanding job. It's such a cool story. The whole thing is. So
Yeah.
I'll turn it over to you.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, there's a lot of really great things about Wildcat Moving's history. And I'd love to share with you just one little piece that I'm very proud of. I don't bring it up a whole lot, but it has to do with the Kentucky legislation. Are you familiar with with the law that we had overturned?
Which one is that?
We had a federal law overturned in 2010. It was an anti-competition law.
Yeah, he told me.
Yeah, Raleigh not only built his business, but he paved the way for other moving companies to be able to operate as a free enterprise in Kentucky. And he's so humble about it, but it was such a very brave thing to go after an attack.
Went to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
I mean, he took this to the Supreme Court because they wouldn't let any other moving companies into the state.
Right.
It was like locked down with Mayflower and some of those other cats.
Once they started doing well, the larger moving companies required a certificate of operation in order for us to continue to move and we started growing and doing great, getting great reviews. And so these larger moving companies said, we're not gonna grant you that certificate anymore, and they started giving us fines. And yeah, he said, this is unconstitutional. This is a free enterprise. I should be able to not only own a business, but make it successful based on clients, successful reviews, happiness, happy moves, and be able to grow and be able to offer a business opportunity for my team. So he took it on, and he had that federal law overturned. And since then, I'm sure you see all the time, there's a lot of different moving companies to choose from. And it would not be like that today if Raleigh had not had that law overturned. So we've paved the way for other moving companies, but also we have to stay, at the top with our competition as well. And so that's why I'm here today. It's just to tell you what separates Wildcat from the other companies, and then just remind you of all the different services that we offer. So again, my name is Meredith. I'm the marketing director and community outreach coordinator with Wildcat Moving. We are locally owned and managed by UK MBA graduates. We operate and move to all the lower 48 states. We do not serve Alaska or Hawaii. But yeah, we have Wildcat van lines, which will help your clients go incoming or out of state if needed, or inside of all of Kentucky. In addition to moving, we have, I'll just go over here. We have Lady Cat packing and organizing. So if your client needs help with packing, unpacking, organizing the kitchen, the garage, getting everything cleaned up, she's your gal to call. She will also provide moving kits based on square footage. So if your client wants to do the moves themselves, She will deliver the box, she delivers them for free, the box kits, wardrobes. And I brought these coupons today for you all to include in your buy or sell packets if you so like. So very, very helpful service, huge game changer for me personally when I moved, because it was very overwhelming to get all that stuff organized and unpacked. We have Wildcat mini storage. This is very helpful if you have a client that is in between closings. Let's say you're gonna close on Monday and they need to be out of the house, but they can't get into their new place until Wednesday. We've got 4 different storage locations. 1 is in Jessamine County, 3 in Lexington. And we would just charge a 1-month rate for that. If they wanted to have their items stored in there in that little intermittent time. Or we can do overnight storage on the trucks for a fee as well, if it's just gonna be 1 or 2 nights. So we do have that option of being able to accommodate that transition for your clients, because we know that closing dates can sometimes get delayed. We have a Wildcat clean team. They focus on move in and move out cleaning. We've got Wildcat pressure washing and carpet cleaning. I especially like pressure washing because it is one of the best things that you can do before you get your listing photos done. I personally just had them come to my house last week. I had algae all over the bricks from all of this rain. They said, let me go ahead and do the gutters for you and the driveways and the fences. I'm like, go ahead. I have curb appeal 110%. It completely brightens it up. Huge game changer. With having them come out before you get your photos done. Again, carpet cleaning, when you move that couch and the tone of the carpet is a completely different color, they will take care of that for you. We've got gutters for repair and installation. The van lines is the long distance division. They are a different division than moving. So if they're gonna do in state of Kentucky, they'll do moving. For van lines, they'll call that number right there. And then we've got the dog retreat. So this is gonna be out here in Spur Road at about 15 minutes. It's technically King, Kentucky, but 40356. They do daycare, long-term boarding, if you're having an open house, if your clients are just looking for a place for the pet to go for vacation, they also do grooming. So very helpful on open house days.
Is that a passion project there?
You know, Raleigh's sister Elizabeth saw the kennel and said I had an idea, because she knew about clients having problems with the dogs on open house days.
Yeah.
She said, I have an idea, it's for sale, what do you think? And we investigated, or we researched and explored and said, this would actually be really helpful. And the dogs, if you've ever had the dog stay here before, they're basically out on a vacation themselves. So they get so much love, playtime, trail walks, field play. They do not interact with other dogs, which I think is a huge plus for safety. But if you're on vacation, you get a collage of photographs of your happy dog having fun there all day. So wonderful, wonderful place to recommend. Our home inspection is on hold at the moment. We are in between inspectors. But this is just all of these information. It's a lot. So whenever I talk to agents, they always say to me, oh, I didn't know that Wildcat Moving offered that. Again, it's all under the Wildcat group. We don't have this number right here will lead to Wildcat Moving, but all of these companies have a separate contact number. There are sister companies. So that's one thing. There's not like one 1-800 number that you can call and book everything. However, one thing that we would like to offer our realtor partners is a discount for realtor referrals. So if your client gives our booking agents a call at any one of these businesses and lets them know they were referred by their Keller Williams agent, they're gonna get a discount on the hourly rates and a VIP moving team. And some of you, I think, in here just received, we send out gift cards to all of our realtor referrals. We really appreciate that. We want to keep that reciprocity strong. For those of you that have recommended us already, we thank you. And I'd love to be able to earn your business if we haven't. If you have any questions, Bo and Tara are so amazing about letting us keep these informational materials in your vendor area. So we've got moving flyers. I did leave some more late cat coupons today. I left some flyers about the dog kennel, happiest dog on earth, just one best in Lexington. And then this right here is one of the best things that you can have. Yeah. It's up to you on how you're going to share this information with your clients. I've learned over the years, I've been doing, I have my real estate license as well, it's currently in escrow, but I've learned over the years.
We can help you with that.
Section.
We got testimony.
Y'all make sure you tell Bart I said that. Just tell him. Yeah.
Dude, get it done. So, but I've been also doing marketing for moving companies for 8 years now. I also serve on the board of the Realtor Community Housing Foundation, with Bluegrass Realtors. We have a gala coming up. We'd love to see you all there if you're interested in it. We do rank building and home projects for those in need. So there's so many wonderful opportunities to get involved. And I think that one of the biggest things that separates Wildcat Move from other companies, there's several. First, it's gonna be the pricing. We charge by the hour. It's inside of Lexington, it's gonna be $165 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. And then inside Lexington, we charge a one-time $50 travel fee. Outside of Lexington, it's gonna be $3 a mile. So we can give an exact quote on the travel fee for outside of Lexington or inside. For the move, it's hard to give an exact quote on how many hours it's going to take for loading and unloading. Can anyone tell me the number one mistake that people make when they're getting ready to move? Anybody know?
If they overestimate no, excuse me, I think they underestimate the time it's gonna take them to get back.
You are absolutely correct.
Once again.
Absolutely correct. And it's hard for you all to gauge that as well, but if you can be a resource to them, and coincide in them, because you're putting your eyes on the house and saying, okay, give them this information, getting the boxes in stock, getting things packed and ready within a week, utilizing Wildcat if necessary, gauging what's in the garage, gauging what's on the patio, gauging exercise equipment that's in the basement. All of these things, they get out of sight, out of mind, and people don't consider it when they're calling to book. So we asked several different questions to try to figure out to give them the closest estimate that we can when they call this. We have 26-foot trucks in the state of Kentucky. Those hold on average up to 1,500 square feet of a normally furnished home. So if you have a 3,500 square foot home and it's furnished pretty well or moderately, at least 2 trucks they are going to need. They can order one, but then and have it going back and forth for loads, but we would recommend having 2. And then they'll get a crew of 4 guys. They receive dollies, they receive wrap, they receive blankets, they receive straps. They don't have to do anything but instruct the guys on what's going, what's staying. We'll load it, get it there, unload it, wrap it, pack it, all of the above. So that pricing can vary based on those items. So when you have too much on the patio or too much in the basement, that's when it can get a little bit wild. So that is what I think is really helpful when you call and you know that you're being charged by the hour, and also it's prorated by the minute. So if it stops at 4 hours and 20 minutes, the clock stops. The client is in complete control of the move in that regard. Other moving companies will say, we're gonna base it on how many rooms you have, how much furniture you have, the weight of things. We don't do any of that. We keep it very, very simple and very transparent. I have a lot of realtors that will contact me and ask me if am I going about my time?
Yeah, you got like a minute.
I have 1 minute.
We have a class after this.
Gotcha. One of the biggest questions that they ask is, can they do that concierge service and book their moves for their client themselves? We have to speak and get confirmation from the clients in order to book the move. This is so important just because of pricing. We don't want that pricing to get skewed or misinterpreted along the way. The last thing I just want to share with you about Saw and Tops and Lex, we are a huge community partner, and this is just what pulled my heartstrings working for this company. These are all different charity projects that we donate to throughout the year. We donate over 1,000 different or 1,000 labor hours to places like the American Heart Association, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Justin's Place, Central Kentucky Riding for Hope, Lexington Cancer Foundation. We have gotten to be able to grow to the point where we want to be able to give back. So when you are directing your customers on what companies to choose from, remember the ones that are being a community partner. The best way you can promote is definitely by sharing the resources, but also we've got over 4,000 5-star Google reviews. So if you direct them straight to Google, all they have to do is read about happy customer experiences and make the decision for themselves, because there's a lot of different companies that you can choose from. You don't want to say, oh, we only work with Club or we only work with this lending company. We appreciate being affiliate partners so much. However, you are making strong consumers, confident consumers by directing them to those Google reviews, directing them to the information. We put it all out there for them and letting them make that decision themselves. So we have lunch for you today. I brought tzatziki's. It's Mediterranean. There's basil pesto and grilled chicken. Well, that's
Meredith,
yes.
I just want to give you a plug
Oh,
that I think is really good. I had clients just moved from 7,000 square foot home. They did this Wildcat movie. I am normally not involved in the home as the move is taking
Yes.
place, but I was with this for special reasons. I was so impressed. They pulled up 3 trucks and I think 6, 7 guys, I don't know. These guys were so polite. They were so efficient. I was